I think a woman is somebody who identifies as a woman.
Got it.
You have to give me a actual definition.
I don't have to. I did give you a definition.
No, you said that a woman is something that thinks they're a woman.
I also want to say that one of my best friends is trans, and
I would say that she's more of a woman than I am.
She's more of a woman than I am.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and back to a brand new video. I know it's been like almost 2 weeks since my last video. I am going to be doing a life update video pretty soon explaining why I have been MIA, so stay tuned for that. But I wanted to get right into political and social issues because you know that's what I love to discuss the most. And I finally came across this video from Jubilee with Charlie Kirk, who literally took down about 20 woke students, Gen Zers, who wanted to debate him on various issues like gender studies, like if college is a scam, Kamala Harris being a DEI hire, everything in between. It was crazy. So I wanted to just take some clips from one of the segments to discuss it with you guys because this is what I do. Now, as we know, Jubilee can be a bit of a pain when it comes to copyright, so I do have to be, artistic with my approach and how I react to this video, so that way I won't get copyrighted. So just bear with me with that. But I will have a link in my description with the full video if you guys want to watch the full video, which I definitely encourage you to do because it's a really good one. So I want to do 2 videos, hopefully back to back. The first one's going to be addressing our trans women. I think you guys know where I stand on that. And the second video is going to be, is college a scam? Which I 1000% believe it is a scam. Again, I'm going to try to be artistic with my approach. I'm not going to be able to show everything just because Jubilee tends to be very picky when it comes to copyright. So I'm going to have to maybe, I don't know, make some changes to the video so it doesn't alert YouTube that I'm using, copyrighted stuff. Without further ado, let's get into the first video, which is going to be our trans women. And again, just for the premise, Charlie Kirk is sitting in a circle and there's a timer of 20 minutes. And the moment he asks the question, everybody runs up and whoever gets to the seat first is the person who gets to discuss the topic with him. They have red flags, and if 11 flags are raised, then whoever's speaking has to leave and a new person gets to run up to the chair. So as long as there's 10 flags or less being raised, the person can talk. If it goes to 11, then that person has to leave and a new person gets to come and they discuss the same topic with Charlie Kirk and they debate him pretty much. So that's the premise, which is why you're going to see people running back and forth towards the seat just for some understanding. But without further ado, let's sit back, let's relax, let's watch this video together and react to this video together.
And my next claim is that trans women are not women.
Okay. What's your name?
Sam.
Nice to meet you. Let's define our terms. A woman is an adult female with XX chromosomes. You tell me, what is a woman?
I think a woman is somebody who identifies as a woman.
Got it. So that's not a definition. That's like saying a table is something that identifies as a table. Give me an objective definition.
No,
of
it's not. A table is an object.
Well, tell
A table can't identify as anything. It doesn't have a choice.
You have to give me an objective definition of what a...
Can't do it.
Right now that I wanted to identify as a woman, I would be a woman.
But what are you identifying as?
That doesn't answer the question.
I know, but right now I'm a man, right? So if that
You
happened
have
right
to tell
now,
me
I'd be a
what
woman.
that thing
So
is.
once a person
But what is that?
who identifies as a woman,
Got it.
they're a
No,
woman.
that's a separate issue. What is a woman?
That's the definition.
No, I know, but you have to tell me
A
what...
person who identifies themselves as a woman.
But you have, how do you know that they are that thing?
How do I don't need to know what they are. I can ask them if I want to know.
But there needs to be... You need to tell...
Guess what? I am a millionaire. Now, my bank doesn't know that yet, but that's how I identify. So therefore, bank, give me some money.
Tell me what that thing is, though.
Somebody who... Okay, so we're not getting anywhere. We're not getting anywhere.
No, that's important because it's like saying a giraffe is a thing that looks like a giraffe, or a coyote is a thing that looks like a coyote.
Right.
It's called circular reasoning. You have to give me a actual definition.
I don't have to... I did give you a definition.
No, you said that a woman is something that thinks they're a woman. That doesn't give me a definition. That's simply...
What would you consider a definition then?
An adult female with XX
No.
chromosomes.
I mean, like, what makes that a definition?
Woman.
Biology? Crazy thought? Biology? Science?
Hello.
Hi.
Is it Juliana?
Juliana,
I remember,
yeah.
okay.
I don't necessarily think that you can define a woman just by her chromosomes. Women are so much more than that. They come in a variety of shapes, sizes, colors. And I don't necessarily think that you can count out somebody who's trans just because they don't have a certain set of chromosomes. There are also people...
Yeah, you can.
I'm drawing a blank.
Okay. Intersex?
Yes.
So XXY or YY.
Or just, or like X0 with nothing.
So natural mutations upon the binary, essentially, right?
Yes. So...
But they don't have both sex organs that both operate, right?
Yeah, but that also I don't think necessarily works, right? Because if it's X
One
plus
is
X
predominant,
and there's
yeah.
a...
So you're either more male or more female, right? So you might have both a penis and vagina, but there's never been a case of someone who can impregnate themselves.
Okay. I also don't necessarily think that works for the situation, but
I also want to say
Why
that one of
not?
my
best friends is trans, and I would say that she's more of a woman than I am. I think that women define themselves by multiple things.
Wow.
their sex organs. If somebody asked me who I was as a woman, I would not say I have a vagina.
Totally fair.
I would.
No, I think you said something smart. So you said that person is more of a woman than you are. Therefore, you're grading off a definition of something accomplishes womanhood. What is that?
What is it?
I think it's, well, that's the thing too, and I do think that gets a little complicated, right? Because there are social norms for gender, but I do think we try to break that, right?
No, for sure. But you said that specific friend is more of a woman than you are. Why?
I think she's a better person than me. I think she
So
lives
women are better
life.
people?
She's a better woman than I am. I'm not saying women are better people.
But what makes a woman
Woman, because you said she's more of a woman.
They're so stupid.
So I want to know what that definition is.
Right, okay. I'm gonna let somebody else.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure you are. I'm sure you are. We got to talk about that for a second. So you're going to sit here. First of all, she said that there are many different types of women, that women come in all different shapes and sizes, different experiences, which I agree with, just like men, right? We all come in different experiences. We all come from different perspectives, but the binary still exists, right? Just because there are different types of men doesn't mean that anybody can be a man. There still is a criteria that makes one a man, and that would be having XY chromosomes. And a woman would have XX chromosomes. Why that part seems to be like escaping their minds doesn't really make any sense to me. Well, I know why. It's because if they admit that, then they have to admit that people who are cosplaying as women are not really women. They're just wearing the costume of a woman, but they're not actually a woman. See, you can live your life as something and not be that thing. Just because I say I am something does not mean that that is true biologically speaking. There still has to be a biological factor that separates men and women in our society, right? We know that only one sex can give birth. That's it. Just one. But according to this group, it doesn't really matter. It's how you feel. How you feel is all that matters, not what you are. And what he's trying to say, what Charlie's trying to say is, look, you can have your own different perspectives and personalities and opinions about what makes a certain thing, but let's first define what that thing is. And they can't do that, because if they define it correctly, then it destroys their entire argument about anybody can be a woman. No, anybody cannot be a woman. Anybody can play the part of a woman by wearing the clothes and changing their name and having surgeries, but that does not make them a woman. It just doesn't. And it's okay to say that. It's okay for somebody who wants to live their life as something to admit that just because they're living their life as something, it doesn't mean that biologically speaking, they are now that thing, because they're not. Biologically speaking, the blood in their veins the DNA is still going to show the sex that they were born as. You can't change that. And the problem with these kids is they can't admit that, because if they admit science is real, then it just destroys their entire perspective of what a woman is, of what a man is, of what reality is, of what a falsehood is. They can't admit that. They can't. So let's just live in La La Land. Let's just pretend. Let's make our own rules. And if you ask me a question, I'm going to give you a circle to answer.
a woman is a woman is a woman.
And then the fact that she sat there and said that her trans best friend is a better woman than she is. How sad is that? And that's just a small lens of what's happening right now, I feel, in society, where women, I'm talking about biologically born women, feel the need to degrade themselves, feel the need to minimize themselves in their own spaces in order to uplift these men who want to be women. The fact that anybody would say my trans best friend is a better version of what a woman is than I am as an actual biological female is so sad. Like, that isn't a compliment. It's really not. It's actually self-deprecating, and it's sad. And if I were that trans friend, I would say, please don't say that. Like, please don't degrade yourself in order to uplift me up, because you still are the prototype of what a woman is. Okay, you are the blueprint. Let's not demonize yourself in order to make me feel better. But it seems like with the left, the more demonization of actual women that happens, the more progressive you are, the more understanding you are, the more open you are. Let me degrade myself to uplift you, to prove that I'm an ally. It's backwards. It's what it is. It's backwards, and it's sad.
Do you want to talk about sex first, or do you want to talk about gender? I don't think gender exists. I think it's a term that John Money and Judith Butler created over the last 40 years that basically is a filler for personalities. Okay, well, if we're talking about sex, which it seems like you're saying is the exact same thing, would you say sex is binary by definition? Yes. For sure, yes, absolutely. Okay, so you're already intersex, like sex is not binary, it's bimodal. So if you look at a distribution graph, we're going to see people in two camps majority of the time, but there are going to be externalities on both ends of the spectrum and in the middle. For example, so we already talked about intersex. However, with intersex, though, they are mutations of a binary, correct?
Really quickly, you're bringing up intersex people, but intersex people make up such a small percentage of our population. So let's be intellectually honest here, right? Let's not pretend like intersex people make up 40% of our population, because they don't. And again, if you're intersex, that is a birth defect. Okay, that means that something went wrong in your DNA and in your chromosomes, and a birth defect happened. So that means it's not normal. That means that isn't the norm. So to use that as some type of, lipo moment to justify transgenderism, it just doesn't fly. It just doesn't fly. Because number one, and I've said this a million times and I'll say it again, a person who is born intersex didn't have a choice. A person who is transgender chose to transition, chose to have surgery, chose to live as the opposite sex. Okay, that was their choice. An intersex person did not have a choice. Biologically speaking, they have a birth defect. And using that has some type of, excuse as to why transgenderism is perfectly normal, it just doesn't make any sense to me. But this is the argument that they always go for. They always go for this argument because it's all that they have. Intersex people, intersex people, intersex people. Dude, really?
Brought up intersex. We're talking about reality. You brought up intersex. Okay. What sex organs, which one is more dominant? What do you mean? In an XXY situation. Can you explain your point of view? Yeah, I mean, obviously you have more female characteristics and male characteristics in an XXY, or it might be YYX, one of the two. The point is that you do not have both. We can see people with female reproductive organs that have XY, and we can see the vice versa, people with male reproductive organs that have XX.
But that's not the norm.
So besides male and female, what categories exist? We have people that are intersex. We have people that are on the other ends of the bimodal distribution graph. Are you aware what bimodal means versus binary? Somewhat of an understanding. Okay, well, so you can be presented with a graph after this by the people that you brought with you. But it's actually a bimodal distribution. Just like constantly going to condescending type talk is not going to be free. Trans women are not women. Do you agree with that? I would say that trans women are women because people that exist under the category of women, people that exist under the category of men are still human. So that category, how is that defined? Well, I wouldn't limit it to things like genital.
Of course not.
Seems like you want to do. What type of genitals would you say I have? Since I don't know. I'm not obsessed with genitals, but I could do a blood sampling right now and I can see exactly what you are because every single one of your trillions of cells are either coded with XX or XY. No matter how much surgery or whatever, I think that you are a man, but you could fool me. You could take hormones. You could play camouflage. Like I could fool you to be Hispanic if I had the right Hollywood makeup director. That doesn't mean that you are the thing, though. But
oh my God, my head hurts. My head freaking hurts listening to them try to justify the erasure of women, pretty much, right? Like, and this always blows my mind, is that you have these liberal Gen Z people who are so progressive, and all they're progressing is men in women's spaces taking over women's spaces because they identify as women. And women, like the other girl, are supposed to degrade themselves and say that that's more of a woman than I am to somehow prove that they are allies of trans people. I mean, it's pretty simple. If you are XX, you are a woman. If you are XY, you are a man. And XY has no business in XX spaces. The conversation does continue. I'm going to end the video here, though, because it has become kind of repetitive. I think you get the gist of what's happening here, though. In my opinion, Charlie Kirk just completely destroyed these kids with facts and biology and things that they can't really wrap their heads around, which is why they go in circles and they try to, like, become condescending and rude and nasty to him in order to, I guess, strengthen their argument, but really just makes them look even weaker. Because if you have a strong argument, you're going to be calm like Charlie Kirk. You're not going to be defensive, and you're not going to be argumentative, and you're not going to be purposefully offensive like they were to him. But it's all good, because when you stand on truth, you don't need to do those things. You just speak it and let them melt like normal left-wing nut jobs. Let me know in the comments down below what you think of this video, what you thought of this topic. Do you think that trans women are women? Or do you think that biology matters? Let me know what you think in the comments down below. If you enjoy my content, please do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Don't forget to hit my notification bell so you know when I post a brand new video. And be on the lookout for part 2, where I'm going to be discussing the next topic, which is liberal college a scam? Spoiler alert, it is. Until next time, peace.